The stage is set. The final war between humanity and the demons is about to erupt inside a castle that defies reality itself. The Infinity Castle arc is one of the most anticipated moments in anime, and with the upcoming movie adaptation on the horizon, here are our predictions for what to expect. Let's preface by detailing the characters that are currently in the Infinity Castle, where the movie is set to take place. Currently, we got our main characters, Tanjiro, Nezuko, Zenitsu, Inosuke, and the rest of the Hashira, as well as Tamayo, the rogue demon. On the other side, we have Muzan and the rest of his upper-ranked demons. The ones we are familiar with are Akaza, Nakime, and the other three are Kokushibu, Doma, and Kaigaku. And then, as we know, Nakime's Blood Demon art is what serves as the primary setting. Like, she's the one who kind of controls the Infinity Castle in a way. And with that being said, the Infinity Castle isn't just a backdrop, it's the battlefield, with Namika's Blood Demon art distorting the space. All the Demon Slayer cores and the Hashira, they're all going to be scattered, and each are going to be fighting. They're going to be like navigating the entire environment, scattered across ever-shifting rooms against ever-alternating demons, and they're basically at the enemy's home base. They're fighting on enemy territory. So a lot of simultaneous high-stake battles that are going to be interwoven across the movie's timeline. So there are going to be 3 movies. So obviously Muzan and Tanjiro, or Muzan against the entire Hashira, that's going to be the very last movie. I'm not sure what they're going to do with the second movie. They're probably going to focus on the other upper ranks that we haven't really delved into or explored yet. And the first movie are going to probably be, characters that we expect to fight, and there will probably be some deaths in this first movie. I mean, this is the end game. No one is safe. And with that, my first prediction is Tanjiro against Akaza. I mean, they have been teasing this fight for most of the seasons that have gone. I think after the death of Rengoku, Tanjiro has been seething with vengeance and rage against Akaza. Normally, Tanjiro is very sympathetic, caring, understanding, but I think in this case, anytime we see Akaza being mentioned or referenced throughout the show, I think that's the only time I ever see Tanjiro filled with rage, like filled with a blinded, bloodlusted rage. So I think what's going to happen in this fight, it's going to be a close one. Obviously, Tanjiro is going to win. But I think what's going to happen is Tanjiro is going to succumb to his rage, which is very uncharacteristic of him. He's going to be angry. He's going to be fighting. He's going to be looking for the death blow. And I think at the very end, he's probably going to have like a realization like, hey, I am not this hateful, spiteful being, and he will have some sympathy for Akaza. I mean, he's gonna finish him off as he always does, but I think the whole arc of this first movie is just going to be him kind of realizing that he has delved way too deep into this dark and hateful rage. And we're gonna get some backstory on Akaza. I mean, they always do such a good job in this show about giving backstory to the most egregious, atrocious, like, demons, villains. They'll show a villain and show their evil, and I'll be like, there's no way that they're going to justify this or make me feel sympathy for that guy. And yeah, while their actions are not really justified and they do get punished as they should, you do feel some kind of sympathy, and you do end up understanding in a way where they're coming from. Not justifying or saying what they did in response to that is right, but you can see why they have gone down that path. So I think in this case, for Tanjiro and Akaza, it's going to be harder than usual. Usually Tanjiro is very easily understanding, sympathetic, and capable of having like a large amount of empathy, but I think this time it's going to be difficult because Akaza killed Rengoku, someone that all of the younger Hashira idolized. Next up, we're going to have Zenitsu against, I think this was spoiled in the trailer that they recently dropped, but there was this one demon that he went up against. I forgot the name. I think it's Kaigaku. I don't know much about Kaigaku, but I predict that we never got like a really deep dive into Zenitsu's backstory, why he's so coward-like, why he's always so scared and fearful and so anxious. And yet, whenever he falls asleep, there's this hidden lore that when he falls asleep, he gets calm and becomes like super overpowered. And you do see a shot in the latest trailer where he's awake, but he has that calm and cold demeanor. So I think what's gonna happen is this fight between Zenitsu and Haigaku is going to actually delve into the backstory of Zenitsu, and we'll understand why he's super OP, and I think he's really gonna go hard in this fight. This movie is going to portray Zenitsu as an absolute beast. I think he's gonna go really crazy in this fight, so it's gonna be interesting to watch. I think one more prediction that I have, and I don't think it's going to happen in this movie. I think this might happen in the second movie or have a bigger role in the third movie, but Tamayo's anti-Muzan drug, if you guys remember, at the end of the season 4, they had this drug that would slow him down and make him a little bit weaker, a little bit slower. They're going to try to augment and enhance that so they can really nullify him during like the final battle. So that's going to be something that they're going to explore. I'm sure that in this movie they're going to explore it a little bit and somehow take those stakes away from the main characters, and they'll have to retrieve it in the second movie. That's what I'm guessing. I don't see where or why they would spend a lot of time with the rest of the Hashira. I mean, the rest of the Hashira, we've spent a lot of time with them already throughout the seasons. Season 1, 2, 3, and 4, we spent with each Hashira. I think there might be like 2 or 3 that we didn't really spend a lot of time with. The 2 like ragey guys, the ones that are kind of like Bakugo. They might spend a good portion of the movie with those characters, fighting some upper ranks and just, you know, have some backstory. But I think they're going to get killed. I definitely predict that within this movie, at least 1 or 2 Hashira are going to go out fighting. As for Inosuke, unfortunately, I think he's going to die in the second movie to raise the stakes really high, because Inosuke hasn't really had anything going for him the last like few seasons. There hasn't been any character arcs or large goals that he's kind of been set up to achieve. He's really just been playing catch up with Tanjiro most of the time. I mean, he is a really strong and powerful character in himself. You have to remember, Zenitsu and Tanjiro both had like these former Hashiras as training mentors, and they both learned breathing techniques, and they both were put through these very rigorous training before they went into the Demon Slayer core application. Whereas Inosuke, he was just raised in the mountain with some boars and made up his own, just custom made his own breathing technique and became a beast of his own right. So Inosuke is a really, really underrated and slept on character, but just the way that the story is going and the way that the character has been built up, I really don't see him making out of this movie arc. I mean, maybe he makes out of the first movie, but he's definitely gonna get cooked in the second movie. Just from a storytelling perspective, that's just where I see this going. He's one of my favorite characters, so I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. Now, might be a little bit of a cheat for a prediction video, but Gyu, we see him in the trailer, and I wonder what they're going to do with him. I wonder if he's going to help one of the... Because here are the 3 fights that I think are going to happen. I said Zenitsu versus Kagaku. I said Tanjiro versus Akaza, and there was one more. I don't really know who they're going to make fight, but it's definitely going to be one more Hashira versus one more demon. I think that Gyu is going to be with Tanjiro just because of how they set up their relationship at the very first episode, and then the rest of the series, he's kind of like in the shadows, but like he has some kind of connection with Tanjiro, like a friendly connection with him. And then during the very last like arc, the Hashira training arc, you see they kind of like warm up to each other. So I think he might help Tanjiro fight Akaza, but if that's the case, he might die. I think like, if we're talking about stakes and, you know, they're in the Infinity Castle, remember, they're in the demon's home turf. There is this one demon that I think can control and distort the Infinity Castle for Muzan. I'm not sure if I think Muzan might be able to control himself, but they're in their territory. So if push comes to shove, they can just like grab 2 big pillars of the castle or walls of the castle and just like clamp one of these Hashira. So yeah, I think Gyu might be cooked. Hopefully not though. He's a beast, but we'll see. He's definitely gonna have some kind of character arc, that's for sure. He's like one of the only Hashira that we didn't get to explore, other than those 2, the white-haired one and the snake guy. Those 2, I think they'll have to explore them in the next movie. Because I think first we're gonna want to start the first movie with people we're familiar with. And my final prediction is with Nezuko. I think either this movie or the next movie. Definitely one of the movies, one of the first two movies, she's gonna get kidnapped. Muzan has been obviously looking for a way to, kind of bypass the weakness that the demons have, which is they cannot be like around the sun or out when the sun is out. And Nezuko was the first one that in recorded like Demon Slayer history who was able to do that for some strange reason. She has some kind of special blood or trait that allows her to do that. And I definitely foresee her getting kidnapped and they're gonna need to try to rescue her. I think that's gonna happen in the second movie, if I'm being honest. But then I'm not sure what Nezuko is gonna be doing in the first movie in that case. So they're gonna have to definitely like fill her time with something. Maybe she'll have a Hashira fight, like an upper rank. I do wonder how everyone's gonna turn out. Yeah, like all these characters are gonna be scattered apart. So that is gonna be an interesting dynamic. I don't know if Tengen was in there. Was Tengen in there? Somebody, please let me know in the comments if Tengen ended up in the Infinity Castle. That guy's a goat. He's literally my favorite. And that's really about it. Those were all the predictions that I have. I didn't go too deep with this. I didn't really deep dive into all the upper rank demons and their powers and the characters. So if you guys want me to do that, let me know. This was just a quick little impromptu prediction. It's going to be an exciting movie. I think it's going to be one of the greatest anime films of all time, one of the highest grossing anime films of all time, and it's going to be an event. It's going to be an end game level event, so definitely check it out. I highly recommend anyone who likes the Kuruluj Osman Dirilish Artugrul series. There's a lot of like elements and familiar storytelling styles that this show has. I definitely recommend go watch Demon Slayer. It's literally the length of one episode of Kuruluj Osman. You'll knock it out in a weekend. And then get ready for this movie because it's coming out and it's coming out soon. Thanks everyone. Have a good rest of your days. Bye-bye.
This is good. Get ready. Prepare yourself. Water breathing. Aim forward. Waterfall bases! Fall to pieces!
You pesky I'll carve you into pieces!
Waterfall bases! That's enough! We have a winner!